With MakingStarWars.net.
My name is Jason, and I'm here to say I love Fruity Pebbles in a major way. Today, I'm joined by Low Talking James and High Talking Rob. Can we hear you yet, James?
Can you hear me?
Nope, we can't hear you. But yeah, so today
I wonder though. Hold on, fun experiment, folks. And let's be positive about technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we turn on closed captions, YouTube will still be able to translate whatever he says.
Closed caption James is what his new name will be.
Yeah, closed caption games. Hey, games.
Rob, I always wanted to ask you before I forget. Do you like James dubbed or subbed? how do you prefer James?
If there's no stories, subs. Right? If there's gonna be an actual story, I guess dubs, but only in the Swedish dub.
Right.
I want to hear all the stories if it's like a German. I want Eurotrash German, not authentic German.
Yeah, I just feel like the subtleties of his Ralph McQuarrie stories are fully cherished with subtitles. Without it, a lot of it's left to James's embellishments. Like, oh, McQuarrie was really, really baked that day. And you're like, well, what was he baked or not? All right, we lost James. Quit. James just said, you know what? I don't need the abuse. I don't need the abuse.
You know what's crazy about this is like he's a sound guy. I found once I live with a mechanic. An auto mechanic, professional auto mechanic, and I can assure you his car never worked because he was always tinkering with it. I wonder if it's the same thing.
Did the guy with no sound just look at somebody and say shh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't hear you, dude. You sound very gentle though. I feel embraced.
I don't think Ben would ever have this problem.
Hey, I think we hear you. Do we hear you?
Oh wait.
Can you? So I just turned my mic off.
Yeah, you're back.
Now I turned my mic on.
And now there's a lawnmower outside my house. What is this day?
Yeah. Well.
All right.
So you can hear me.
We can hear you. Yeah, you sound great, man.
All right. Perfect.
You sound like fucking Ozzy, dude.
Okay. Well,
I'm on a fucking crazy train right now with your voice.
I'm just using the laptop mic.
Yeah, it's working.
It's very authentically OT.
Yeah.
Catch my drift.
There we go. We're going old school today.
Yeah.
Straight up 8-bit.
TK style. All right.
421.
So I had this document that I made a long time ago, right? And in this document, I was like, I should start making YouTube videos because YouTube is just full of a bunch of horrible shit. I was like, I'll just start making some fun ones. And I made all these ideas for videos based off of fun facts. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. And I didn't do it. So I have all these notes that I made. And yesterday, if you guys watched the show, we went over a leak on the Book of Boba Fett. Broke the whole thing down. And I still don't know what I think about it. Yeah, if it's even real. I'm kind of leaning towards not real at the moment, but
I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm leaning towards real.
Yeah. But the middle of that stream or the end of the stream when we were just kind of getting into like the hanging out portion, it just up and ended. Nobody knows why. It could have been the man trying to shut us down.
Joke.
Right?
I made this joke. I said, "Are you a boy Yoda or a toy Yoda?" It was,
and that was it.
Yeah. And then it cut me off. It was like, "Screw your toxic masculinity, Rob." I got canceled. That's how it works.
Okay.
Sorry. My fault.
All right. So what do I got in here? I already had the Pepsi. We already did that one. But okay. Phil Tippett. No, not really. At a certain point, even going back to Return of the Jedi at ILM, they had a little room where you could get chips and drinks, and I was getting something. George and Richard Marquand, the director, came in, and Richard was saying, George, I don't really get where we need to go with this picture. And George said, well, did you see Benji? No, George, I didn't see Benji.
Benji Bronk?
What we're doing now is kind of like a cross between Benji and what we did on Empire.
Oh.
Yeah. So
the Ewoks?
I guess.
That's basically it.
Yeah, Benji's a stupid movie about a dog. Okay, so
What it was about is we dropped Kurtz off in the woods and he found his way back. And couldn't fucking know what we do.
Yeah.
No matter. Yeah.
Oh, right here I have a
beard.
video on the EU never being canon. All right. All the main, I already hit on this one too a little bit. All the main titles from the original Star Wars scores are different in instrumentation. Only the prequel scores are exactly the same and use the orchestration from The Empire Strikes Back in the key of B flat, I believe I wrote. And then the main title, they're all of these seg into like the main title, like the arrival on Naboo, boarding the Federation battleship, ambush on Coruscant, the Revenge of the Sith, Rebel blockade runner, and then which goes on to quote the ending of Mars from Gustav Holst's The Planets. If you guys ever hear that, it totally just totally just ripped off. Mars, the ice planet Hoth, approaching the Death Star, and Return of the Jedi. So basically, yeah. All right.
The Ballad of Yasm.
The Yasm tracks.
Yeah.
So okay, this is funny to me. When I'm supposed to be writing, I end up making up. This is George Lucas. I end up making up names. I have a couple of little books that are a list of names. Whenever I think of a name, whenever I'm in the shower, I'm with friends or see a sign, I write it down in my little book. So when I have a new character, sometimes I'll go down the list and pick a name out of there that seems to fit that particular character.
Also, I get to write off the gas when I pick Ahmed up in the morning. As long as I'm writing it down, it's technically a meeting. Yeah, so it's good for taxes.
Hell on.
Yeah, that's how we came up with General Cruller.
Please, Oh, and that was on page 44 of Rinsler.
Yeah. Grandmaster Locks. We had
what?
The
Phantom Menace. Alan Harris, who played Bosk in The Empire Strikes Back, also was Chancellor Valoran stand-in during the production of The Phantom Menace. And you could see him really clearly in that last scene when you got fake Mace, fake Valorum,
Yeah. Of all the changes
originally it was going to be Chancellor McMuffin because I wrote that down one morning. But
I know sometimes I was thinking about it, I was like, with all of the face swapping technology, different than wife swapping technology, by the way. The face swapping technology,
very popular in Utah.
Like a part of me is always like, I wonder why they didn't like touch up that scene from Phantom Menace with all the touch ups that they always do. And I started thinking about
the Valorum scene. You think they should have touched up
at the very end when at the very end of the Phantom Menace when you get to Naboo and everybody's meeting on Naboo, you got like, it almost looks like Ahmed Best playing Mace Windu at one point. It's like a totally like different looking dude than Samuel L. Jackson. Like they're all just like a bunch of stand-ins. They just
because they're not the actual actors.
Yeah, but in the era of 4K transfers and stuff like that, when you watch it today, you're like, what are you doing? How does that exist? And the only thing I could think of is those are their friends, and they're like, hey, look, we get to see Jerry right there.
I think that initially, like when Adiwan was he was going to do the prequels. So there was a list of things to fix, and that's when that one came up. And I'm like, I knew there was something weird because like the body build didn't even fit right,
Yeah.
Like, when you look at it, I was like, we didn't have the best projection when I saw it overseas in the army. And on VHS, it was still like, something looks weird about that. But they said, yeah, they're body doubles, or different.
It was a late pickup for that shot. I know it was like one of the things they added very late in the production.
Jake Lloyd's older, right? Jake Lloyd looks bigger too, doesn't he?
Even though, yeah, there's that one scene, though, the one all digital scene in Phantom Menace when Jake Lloyd goes back to talk to Padme. That's digital. That was a pickup. And you can tell he's older.
Yeah. It's when he goes to talk to Padme when all the handmaidens are there. They have all just been kissing and frolicking and rolling around, in their space underwear, because that's what they were doing, right? And they're like, "Oh, put your robes on. The kid's coming." And then he's like, "Oh, is Padme here?" And they're like, "Yeah, you fucking dork. Yeah, she's right here." And then, but yeah, he's like, his hair's different. He's like, "Hey, is Padme here?" And he's like a totally different
Space underwear is also popular in Utah, so we had that up in the official Skywalker Ranch merch shop.
All right.
Yeah, I think, but anyone quit the prequels. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna bother with these. Like they're fine. I don't want to know with it. It's taking too long anyway with the other ones. So.
Yeah, the other one stuff was kind of unnecessary, most of it.
Oh no, I love it. So,
you really?
We disagree. Yeah.
I mean, like the
Look,
space
he's fixing all that, bro. He's going back and cutting all that weird, trimming it out a little bit. But I'll take his Empire is better than the special edition release of Empire, and they're all better than the actual special editions. Better than the OT? No, that's what it was, but better than the special editions by a long shot.
It's weird. I think Empire looks better blue, but no, I really do. I really think that it has more. It reminds me more of the Macquarie kind of look. It has less of that. It feels less stage like, but at the same time, when you see it all, in its original color and stuff like that, the photography looks better. So it's like, you know what I mean? I go both ways on it, but yeah, I do think his stuff is. I like it as a testament to the fact that you don't need a huge corporation to make your movie work if you really have the desire. The David Lynch, I know you don't like him, but David Lynch, who did Eraserhead on the weekend.
David Lynch.
Okay, but he did movies. But I'm saying somebody.
What's wrong with that?
Somebody
like his TV.
It's possible for somebody to do Star Wars on the weekends. It could happen. And that's what I like about Adawan stuff is it really proves that that's possible. Somebody just really has the will and a good enough idea. And so I mean,
just so people know, he's not sitting there with the computer modeling out like Dagobah. He actually built all the trees. Mm-hmm. He built all the moss, all the stuff, shot everything. You know what I mean? Fixed the Han's flap so that it actually matches for between that and Jedi because it's a whole goof. Like just things that we all expected from the special editions, he actually fixed.
I don't have OCD. I don't understand what you're talking about right now.
I care that the snow speeders are transparent, bro. I have OCD. They're completely transparent. And then when they go on the DVD and they go, we promised we fixed them the first time. We fixed them now, and they're still not fixed. I got a real problem with that. Like, sorry.
They're fixed now. They're fixed.
It's ILM. It's not. What are you talking? Like, this is crazy. It's Industrial Light and Magic. You can't sit there and say we're the best ever. We fixed it while you're clearly looking at it getting gaslit. Like that makes no sense.
What is that? Is that a Industrial Light and Magic? Is that at Hogwarts?
That's where I'm at. That's what you can't. What's wrong with you? I mean, global warming's frozen up Marin County, but other than that, man, like climate change, whatever.
The Yoda in Revenge of the Sith isn't the same Yoda from Attack of the Clones. He was vastly improved in that his eyeballs have little capillaries and his ears are translucent. To speed up the animating process in Revenge of the Sith, they dumped an old animation database for Yoda. They made 8 or so templates, such as concerned, meditative, angry, and they would put Yoda into that state.
Rob Coleman.
And then begin animating him, saving a lot of time for the animators. And that's how they were able to improve Yoda by a lot. And then now that's, of course, Phantom Menace Yoda is Revenge of the Sith Yoda, and Attack of the Clones Yoda is the outlier.
And they changed a lot of shots in Revenge of the Sith because they were working on Incredible Hulk at that time. That was the Ang Lee one, right? And
the Incredible Cabbage Patch.
Yeah. And so the close-ups of Yoda were not going to be done for Revenge of the Sith. They didn't think they could get that shot on Polis Massa. They didn't think the technology was there to do it. And then ILM's like, nah, we did it for Hulk. You can get that close-up shot and make it look good.
Was Dennis Muren's last film Sith or Hulk? Like,
I'm not sure.
because Muren wasn't on the Pirates sequels, like, right? It was either. I want to say it was Hulk, but I think it might have been Sith. I don't know. Can't remember. I could Google this, but I won't.
In Star Wars Galaxy magazine, issue 1 of Star Wars Galaxy magazine, we got our first look at Yoda for the Phantom Menace. The same picture was printed in Star Wars Insider a few weeks later. It wasn't actually the puppet. It was a bust that they were going to mold the rubber off of for the puppet. The bust was gray. It was supposed to be a slightly younger, more vibrant Yoda. For whatever reason, it didn't translate. That bust mold was better than anything they ever used as Yoda, as far as I was concerned. And it was so good, it didn't seem like the character, or just didn't translate. I've always wondered like about that. I've always wanted more information on that Yoda. And at the time that they did it, that's when like everything was in lockdown. They wouldn't say anything about anything. And and like when you see that Yoda, it's like, oh man, like it looked fucking awesome. I wish I didn't really realize I was going to be reading that one today, or I would have grabbed the picture, you know. So
it's stuck, my friend.
Hey, Striker, what's up with glasses? These are my official Devo. These are official Devos, by the way.
Nice.
Yes.
Blue Strikers.
Striker.
What? He's wearing his Blue Strikers.
Very
popular on the boardwalk.
At Star Wars Celebration 1, Rick McCollum said Yoda would always be a rubber puppet because that's what he was in the older movies. During the Q&A, we asked him, like a dick, you said if a character was a puppet, he'd always be a puppet. What about Jabba?
He'll always be a puppet. Always be a puppet.
He kind of laughed.
So important.
There's no other way to make Jabba walk.
The rubber's so dense.
He then pointed out that Yoda was CGI in the Phantom Menace in one scene when he needed to walk, and Yoda was
Alf's feet will always be human feet so long as fucking I live too, right? Like he can be a puppet, but when it's Alf's feet, has to be human feet.
and Alf's
feet and footies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or the Swedish chef, he doesn't have human hands, you know.
Has to be human hands. That's the whole gag.
Yeah.
Could you imagine trying to do that with puppet hands? You know?
Yeah, no. Not gonna work.
Blew my friend's mind in the second grade when I explained to him those were human hands. He could not tell. Little kids, man. Sometimes it just goes right over our heads, you know.
Yeah, well, maybe.
He was like, what?
Oh shit!
What other parts of him are human? I wonder.
Yeah,
the only Muppet with Jansen's dick.
So stupid, man.
Why do I should really write that down before I say it. You know?
No. You're not gonna get this from any other show on the internet.
Beaker has entered the room. Me.
The auditions to play Henson were really weird.
Yeah. Beaker has Muppet hands, but doesn't have human hands.
All right. Speaking of Alf, our friend Max needs help with the kitty cats. And normally I would not ask, but I need some assistance. Today we learned that 2 outdoor kittens in the backyard have feline panleukemia. She needs $703. We're at $420 last update I got. So we need to get a little bit more money to get the kitties vaccinated, tested and vaccinated. And so here,
stuff lives in their yard up to a year. So
it's
not like they can just avoid it, you know.
Yeah, if she could just keep them in the house for a couple of weeks, then that would be something that could happen. And I believe that they are mostly in the house cats, but if Max walks through the yard, gets on her shoe one time, it gets in the house, it's done. Like it's devastating for kittens. So if you are able to help, please help Max. This is how you can help right here. None of this goes to me. This all goes to Max and the cats. So I appreciate it. And if you like Alf, then think of it as if these kitties make more kitties and make more kitties, make more kitties, Alf has a really good Thanksgiving. Think about it that way. So
And,
anyway,
I wanted to, in an effort to try to help Max, I've got a signed Billy D. Williams picture here. If you want to auction that off to your podcast listeners here, if whoever donates the most to Max's cause, I will gladly send this out to them. It's from Official Pick, so this is the real deal. That's Billy D's signature on there.
dude,
So
that's awesome.
Hopefully I can help her out a little bit.
Yeah, that's great.
Home.
That's so nice.
I don't know how you want to run that in terms of, the auction and bidding. If you want to, take bids on the Facebook site or in the chat here or whatever. But yeah,
he can't tell you how he got the signature, but he got.
Well, I could, but I'd have to kill everybody.
Dude, thank you so much, man, for doing that.
Can we specify who gets killed? Yeah. Like, because I might sign up, my friend. I've got a list, like Santa.
Well, Rob makes the cut. He gave me a good compliment the one time he was on. He called me a musician, which. If anybody knows anything about my musical talents, calling me a musician was a high compliment. So,
moving violations in reverse. Sorry. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. I'll do a couple more of these, and then we'll go over to the beautiful art that Rob has collected. When I'm supposed, this is George Lucas, I assume. It is. When I'm supposed to be writing, I end up making up names. I already did that one. Somehow I went to the top. Oh, okay. Coleman studied that Yoda maquette that I was talking about to create the CGI Episode 2 Yoda. Cinefex confirms this is the maquette created for Episode 1. So in Cinefex, that's
the one that looked perfectly fine that they didn't use. That we all saw and we're like, why didn't they use that? And I remember the argument on the Force on it was, you gotta understand it, and it is what they use. I'm like, that's not what they look. You're looking right at it. That's Yoda, and this is like melted Gizmo. Like, I don't understand. What happened?
It does claim that they use that to make that one. I don't know how it's so bad.
Lie. Yeah, and Rick Collin claimed we'll always use a puppet. While he knew they were actively developing a digital Yoda. That's what's funny about it.
They didn't know it. They didn't know if it was going to work yet. Yep. Actively and not knowing if they were going to get there, I think is probably why. But okay, so
can you imagine Attack of the Clones if that was a puppet at the end fighting Dooku?
Yeah. Warwick Davis.
Yes, and I would love to see it. I've tried to tell you, the Gungans would be way funnier if they were all puppets. Like that's the problem, is they made them look realistic. You should have made the CGI the bad guys, the Nemodians, right, and whatever, because the CGI is creepy, and you make the puppets fluffy. They're fluff. So when they get hit with lasers, fluff plops out. Like, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, it would be the best. If I had some if I won the lotto, I'm telling you, that's the fan edit I'd get on quick. Like, I'd waste some money on that. Like, you would fully funded.
You know what I'd do if I won the lottery, man? 2 Carrie Fishers at the same time. All right. Anyways,
you're not helping Twitter, James. They're already mad at you with your Carrie Fisher.
Fuck you, Twitter. You fucking adult babies, go cry in the fucking corner. Warwick Davis, actor from the stellar film Willow, always portrayed Yoda in the Phantom Menace for the construction of the scenes. So he was like, whenever they needed a double for Yoda, it was Warwick Davis, and I think he's in the one scene before before Obi-Wan gets knighted by Yoda. That's Warwick Davis doing the Yoda walk.
Yeah,
and he was what's his name from Eastbound and Down. From Eastbound and Down season 2, played Yoda in Empire Strikes Back. What's his name? Deep Roy.
Yeah,
Deep
from Big Fish.
Never Ending Story.
Yeah,
Never Ending Story. Yeah. I prefer Eastbound and Down season 2 because he's fucking tough as shit in that. Attack of the Clones, Klieg Lars. Okay, here's my fuck you, Adawan. I'm kidding. I love you, Adawan. Klieg Lars, 30 of us went out after her. 4 of us came back. That's a reference to the end of A New Hope. That's exactly what happens at the end of A New Hope with the X-Wings. 30 of them go out, 4 come back. Yeah. So it's a numerical reference to the A New Hope's X-Wing battle. I wrote that.
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
Yeah. The circle theory and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got stuff about Hayden Christensen buying Daniel Logan on PlayStation, but whatever. George Lucas, Where We Live and Where Skywalker
Daniel Logan wanted Nintendo 64. That's the funny part about that story.
Well, the story goes that he goes and he plugs it in. He plugs into his Dreamcast because he already had a PlayStation. Plugs in the Dreamcast, but it's the wrong plug and it burns up. I don't know. It's really stupid. I mean, it's
all
not.
He wanted
it's
was
like,
Mario 64, and he got Ape Escape 2.
Yeah, it's a cute story for Daniel Logan to tell. It's stupid if we do.
I enjoy. He gave him Jedi power battles, and he's not even in the game.
I think so, actually. George Lucas, Where We Live and Where Skywalker Ranch is an old Indian site on the Miwok Indians. So that's where Ewok came from. The Miwok Indians. Dexter Jetster is named after my son, who I call Jetster. Darth Vader is Dark Water or Dark Father in Dutch or Dutch-ish.
I always just figured when they cut the costume budget in half, they cut the name Wookiee in half and got Ewok from that too.
Yeah, right.
It's in there somewhere if you pull the letters out.
Yeah. Well, not a direct cameo. It was confirmed in the Revenge of the Sith online text commentary that Tarful's growl in the scene of Yoda's departure from Kashyyyk is actually Itchy's growl from the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's deep, right? Deep cuts.
Doesn't it change everything? It's totally means something now.
Never watch that thing again.
What it means, I don't know, but it means something.
Shakti had 2 deaths for Revenge of the Sith. The first was at the hands of General Grievous. The second was Anakin killing her during the raid on the Jedi Temple after Order 66. It was filmed 2 ways. One way, she's getting stabbed in the back while meditating. The second was she has lines and says she was waiting for him or something like that. They fight and she dies. The story goes,
The meditation one never made any sense because it's like the whole temple's getting raided and she's meditating.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bad time to meditate.
Good weed. You know?
He's really wow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, when the chosen one turns on you, you just realize, hey, I'm screwed. I'm going to say my prayers, I guess. But the story goes that Chewbacca is based off of George's dog, Indiana, a Malamute. It just occurred to me that Chewbacca's wife in the holiday special is named Mala, sans the mute. So, yeah, stupid. All right. You okay, son? Okay. A New Hope. During the Help Me Obi-Wan scene from A New Hope, all the reaction shots of R2 are leftover shots that were not filmed as reaction shots. Most were just run-overs from when the cameras continued rolling after Lucas announced cut. Lucas went over on time and had to stop filming that day. He forgot to shoot the coverage of R2 almost entirely. He forgot about R2 in the same way during the opening.
And then Kathleen Kennedy fired his ass.
Yeah. Imagine YouTube if this happened today. He forgot to shoot the coverage of R2 almost entirely. He forgot about R2 in the same way during the opening sequence of Attack of the Clones 25 years later. He forgot about him.
Marsha likes to pretend it's called Sepulchus, and they cut you like that. Right from production.
When Richard Chew came aboard as an editor, he analyzed the shot and made it work. Chew stated that it was the first time he'd seen the miserable Lucas get excited about anything they'd done on the picture so far. Did it?
Yeah.
Some would say,
and that sound is what ended up in the Quiznos commercials as the Quiznos monster. That's actually the sound of Lucas getting happy.
I think Richard Chew turned in his seat and he goes, George, I think you bit off more than you can chew.
And he's like, no. We went to Quiznos. They have a pepper bar. They have a banana pepper bar. It's amazing, and we got plenty. We got just enough to chew on. Like, He did, but he doesn't get the jokes.
The 2 jetpacked stormtroopers that are outside the Death Star docking bay with the backpacks on, both of them are Joe Johnston. Yep. Not 1, but 2. I started this on the thing by saying 2 Carrie Fishers are better than 1. 2 Joe Johnston's also better than 1.
People don't know that the basis for Gremlins was if you feed Joe Johnston after midnight or drop water on him, he multiplies. So it's Chris Columbus. He not the rapist, the screenwriter. He in case you didn't know, he he heard this story and decided to turn it into a movie. And that's Gremlins. Steven was very happy.
Okay. There is a logic to that, Lucas says. The first part being that there's a lot of Skywalkers. Is there one Skywalker in the universe? No. You should see the phone book. Yeah. So I think I thought that was kind of important because as Star Wars,
there's a Rey Skywalker.
Well, yeah, right. But as time goes on, I mean, they're going to want to bring in more Skywalkers, I would think. You know what I mean? Eventually, they're going to want to be like, yeah, there were more. I mean, Shmi got enslaved, but those other ones, they were living high on the hog over here. And then now they got little Skippy Skywalker, but still better than Skylar.
When JJ and Terrio write episode 10, it's going to open up. They open the phone book. Skywalkers everywhere. Oh wow!
Palpatine's ghost is like, I should have thought of that.
The yellow pages. Damn it! Filed again.
So I think this is from
pages.
Or the odd that Luke Skywalker's best friend's last name is Darklighter.
Yeah,
that's too much of a coincidence there. I mean, come on.
I tried 8-Trekker, but it didn't work. It was just too close to the source material. Yeah.
So then the author, I think this is from the Skywalking biography. I always thought Skywalker's name was somewhat unique, Stewart asked. No. There's even the Skywalker wine, Lucas says. The other part, which is one place that is the
Jazzy Station. Oh, wait. You mean like bottles? Sorry.
Then so it says no. There's even Skywalker wine. Then the other part, which is the one place that is the most painful for Anakin Skywalker, is Tatooine, because that's where he grew up. That's where he lost his mother. The core of his senses of loss is on that planet. It's called denial. You'll notice also the Emperor
in Egypt.
You'll notice also the Emperor has long suspected that there are children. You got to remember that Vader didn't even know that there are children at all. He killed Padme. You forgot you took that out, kind of, dude. He killed Padme and didn't even know that babies existed. He just put that out of his mind. But the Emperor knew there was a possibility because he told a lie that said, you killed her, continues Lucas. He knew she was pregnant and that there was a possibility these kids might still be alive. When Luke blows up the Death Star and you come back to this movie we're celebrating now, the first thing he says is, Skywalker's alive, your son lives.
Padme told me she had natural immunity from pregnancies. What the fuck?
And that's the first time Vader really... and that's the first time Vader really finds out he has a son. The Emperor kind of knew it. He was just waiting for something to get a sense of a ripple in the Force to say, aha. So that was George Lucas's idea. That has not since been erased. Yeah. They've changed that in the comics now. That's been... Lucas's was more just like, here's how you put it together for the films. But yeah. So, but if you're ever wondering about Lucas's intent, I think that quote is important. John Berg played both the Green Duros. That's the Cad Bane like green alien if you're Clone Wars centric. And one of the Biff musicians in the cantina from A New Hope. Excuse me, I need a drink. Now you're both quiet? Okay.
We wanted to make sure we could isolate that for the
fans. Maury Bush, who played Dengar in The Empire Strikes Back, also played Darth Vader in A New Hope during the sequence where Vader steps on Obi-Wan's cloak.
Oh, it was a pickup. Huh?
Yep. Yeah, there was. I remember mailing away in the 90s for the original making of 1970 Star Wars documentary. Kellogg's had a mail-in thing on it, and when you see it, they were filming it where he burst into flames. The robe would burst into flames, and it looked horrible and it didn't work. So I'm thinking that they had it burst into flames.
They just sent you burnt Pop-Tarts from the scabs and tell you it's Star Wars themed Anakin flavored Pop-Tarts.
Pretty much.
Clever. Nice trick. We see you, Kellogg's.
So Dengar, Darth Vader, it's all the same. But also another time, David Prowse, who sucks, didn't do that much. Lazy bitch. Mini fun fact, Richard Chew was too expensive for Lucas to hire, but he'd been working on a terrible film and wanted out. The studio let him go, and he agreed to leave the picture to help Lucas, a college buddy. He and Marcia would win Academy Awards for editing the film. So, yeah, good work, Richard Chew. That was a good move. Matt Wood confirmed
he went to go edit Hercules in New York. Yeah, big winner.
I don't think he would have left that one. That one sounds fun.
Yeah,
that would be a fun
candy
one
for certain, right?
He's just like, and he's like, yeah, this is fun. I need to make this work. This is a true challenge.
What's that technique where you put different images over words to change the effect? What's that?
The Khrushchev effect.
Yeah, he did that for the whole movie.
Pretty much, right? And they continue to do that for all of Arnold's career, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Except for Jingle All the Way, where he delivers a very impassioned and stellar performance as a father who wants to please a 8-year-old Anakin Skywalker with a Turbo Man doll. Matt Wood confirmed that when Luke is knocked out by the Tusken, the sound effect is also used in Charlie Brown cartoons. The sound effect is used when Charlie misses kicking the football and falls on his back. Yeah.
That one I like.
On the last day of school for my son, the day before the last day, he asked me if I would take him to get a haircut. I said yes. I don't really like doing that right now, but we'll do it. He's all, you could just shave my head. And I was like, okay. So shaved his head. Last day of school, he gets cupcakes. They give him cupcakes to take home. And he's walking out, and then he drops them. And then he walks home like with his head down. It looked just like fucking Charlie Brown, like the whole way home. It looked just like Charlie Brown. It was pretty funny. Anyways,
well, I'm not a fan of adding like dialogue to Luke yelling on the Bespin scene. They did in the special editions.
That was the worst.
But if you had to add a sound effect, the Charlie Brown that's the one to add right there. I would approve.
I did actually make a whole video on this one. Many of the stormtroopers you see on Tatooine were played by local men. They made $6.50 a day. What cost $6.50 in 1976 would be $24 in 2009. I don't know why I used 2009 in this version. It's not that old. The notes weren't that old, but whatever. But yeah, those guys made $24 a day to be stormtroopers. Yeah, Gary Kirk was like,
right. Yeah.
Gary Kirk like $8, right? Modern day.
Yeah.
After Mark Hamill's car accident was behind him, he had dinner with Lucas. He asked Lucas what he would have done if he had died. Lucas said they'd have used something genetic, like a long-lost brother or sister, so the Force was with them. Yeah. Lucas was leading the second unit and called in Mark Hamill for their pickups. Hamill was driving himself out to the location in mid-January, the Friday the night before the rest of the crew. He had a bad car accident. According to Kurtz, Hamill was taken to County General and then, because of the severity of his wounds, to Mount Sinai Hospital. Quote, they operated from about 9 o'clock in the morning until about 4 in the afternoon, Kurt says. I saw him at 4:30, and Mark said, oh, I'm sorry I got delayed. As soon as I get out of here this morning, we can go. And he evidently had no idea what he looked like. So there's always this thing that, like, you know, about when the accident happened, and it happened during A New Hope. So that's also why I think maybe he has the weird eyeliner on in the holiday special.
Well, Actually, I had heard somebody ask him about that. I was
Okay.
at a con, and I just happened to be standing there when somebody asked him, and he said that's the difference between a good film makeup man and a bad TV makeup man. So that was from Mark Hamill saying that was just the shitty makeup guy on the holiday special.
I think they were a little rock and roll, honestly. I think
Yeah,
they were,
in the 80s, he should have done the raccoon eyes, like, Blade Runner style.
yeah, like
they full in. Yeah.
I bet you Hamill likes Bowie. I think he could have done it. I think he could have rocked it. When I
see, so this was 77. You think there's a chance if he had died, John Ritter could have been cast as Skywalker too?
It turns out,
think about the ages.
The Clone Wars,
similar build. Like
the Clone Wars were just a misunderstanding. It was all fucking misunderstanding, you guys. At the end, you're gonna see, Palpatine's not bad. He just.
Can we somehow deep fake Farley as Darth Plagueis now?
If we had Darth Plagueis footage. So anyways, so with Hamill out of the picture because he was all jacked up, Lucas and his crew set up their gear to capture footage of banthas, Tusken Raiders, and whatever they could. There were a lot of things I wanted to shoot with Mark that we had to do without, bits and pieces, at least 10 close-ups. That was just fate, Lucas said.
That's true.
We ended up using a double for the land speeder shot. So that's from the Rinsler book. Oh yeah, this one I like too. I actually want to bring the picture of this one in one of these days. Greedo Mask began as a peapod alien for a television commercial for peas. It's just like this like really, really kind of rad but stupid looking, character. Oh yeah, I was like,
was going to be he was originally the Jolly Green Gungan, and I wanted to save that name for something real special, so we brought it back.
The Empire Strikes Back. Lando. I was Lando. I'm a clone of the Ashardi family. My great-grandfather wanted many sons, and he produced them from the cells of his own body. His sister, a remarkable...
Not helping stereotypes of black fathers. Like, I'm just saying, it's not good, Lando.
But this quote is important. I'm a clone of the Ashardi family. My great-grandfather wanted many sons, and he produced them from the cells of his own body. His sister, quote, a remarkable woman. Remember in Solo: A Star Wars Story? My mother, remarkable woman. A remarkable woman produced.
No, I don't remember that.
Daughters in the same means. Thus, we keep the blood pure. But since the wars, there are not as many of us left, and we try not to attract attention. So you kind of have like a little like I don't know, a little like Lando, Colton, Utah, and they didn't want you on the property because they were keeping it in the family. Weird, but that was Lee Brackett's February 17th, 1978 first draft.
She was working out some stuff. What do you want me to do?
We're working some like shit out. Splinter of the Mind's Eye was planned as a TV project or no? Additionally, Lucas thought of doing a TV show based on Star Wars, and he said Battlestar Galactica already spoiled the market.
Fucking Dykstra,
with what was a lesser product.
Yeah, him and Ralph just going out there making whatever the hell they want.
The TV project
they wanted to do a space duck too, but I'm beat him to it.
So I'm just waiting for Leah Thompson to become legal so I could do that one.
I didn't say that.
Wouldn't it be cool if Marion was 12? Hey, that's George Lucas, not me. The TV project Lucas was going to do became the novel Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Author Alan Dean Foster revealed that it was originally written with limited sets in mind, as a television budget would confine their storytelling. As it was, Splinter became a published work only. Maybe if Galactica...
Could you imagine it? Hold on. You imagine it now. It's TV sets in the 70s. It's some cutout like paper mache trees with a lot of smoke fog just being rolled in.
Land of the Lost.
And like, what is that lens flare thing they do with the lights where like they do the star effect,
Yeah.
It's got those star effects everywhere.
It would look like
A lot of haze. The Marilyn Monroe lens that hazes you up a bit,
If these UFOs are coming from alternate dimensions, I hope we could harness the technology so we can go to the alternate reality where that happened instead and see it. Because I mean, like a part of me, I'm obviously it wouldn't be what we got, but it would be pretty rad to see what Lucas would have done with his hands truly tied. Like could he have made it happen on television?
And Ronstadt knows. I'm just saying.
Oh shit. She does.
I'm all bound up with gagged and I could get real creative words.
Fair enough. So maybe if Galactica hadn't happened, Empire Strikes Back would have been delayed or different than we know it, as resources would have become allocated to Star Wars on TV.
Then we would have never got Face on 18. So be thankful.
Quote, when Hamill heard ILM was working on Star Trek 2, he protested to Lucas, "You traitors! George, how could you do that?" To which George replied, "It's business, kid." Yeah, page 118 of the Rinsler book.
But they already did the effects on the first Star Trek movie. Was he just out of it for that one? Was he in the hospital?
Don't know.
How much did they get involved with the first one? I don't think ILM was that.
They did the model, right? They constructed the actual models for the ships, and then Trumbull did all the photography and stuff.
To be fair, Mark Hamill was probably knee deep in strippers, spending Star Wars money, fucking having threesomes with the two chicks from Three's Company, while John Ritter was doing God knows what. I mean, it was like the late 70s, and he's fucking Mark Hamill, dude. Him and that kid, a guy from Last Action, well, not Last. What's it?
Careful how you phrase that, because that changes the context.
Yeah, the greatest American hero, dude. They were fucking slinging. Annie Potts was in the back of the car. I mean, come on. And
Ramus is like, that guy has some real hip hair.
So I did a bunch of Battlestar Galactica because I was going to do Battlestar Galactica crossover video at one point, which maybe I'll still collect it and do it for the fun of it, but because I like what I got. But John Williams was sent to the Battlestar Galactica recording sessions by Fox to see if Star Wars music was being plagiarized. Imagine that. Like, just John Williams showing up.
John's like, I didn't steal any of the music either. So.
John's like, wait, you're like bum 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 bum, but I was like bum 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 bum. Too close.
They gave Superman a big pass, though.
From the composer BSG, Stu Phillips. To all of you who have posted here, yes, this is Stu Phillips saying hi, and I thank you for your interest in the music of Battlestar Galactica. Please do not hold John Williams at fault for visiting the BSG session. It was not his idea to do so. He was ordered by the legal department of Fox to do this. John
Laddie Legal Limited. LTD.
John is too nice a person to have done this on his own. That is not his style. He is one of the nicest men I have met in this crazy business of music.
Well, he also wrote for like all their fucking shows. Like Lost in Space was a Fox production, right? Like, so like, I mean, I guess sending him down there was like the least threatening thing in a way, right? But it's also gotta be uncomfortable.
He was like, bum, 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 I have an idea. I'll be back.
Like, oh, now Johnny Williams comes back.
Oh, yeah.
The big shot.
I knew Johnny Williams. Now you're John Williams. You're the big man now, Johnny, are you?
Jaws Williams, huh? Ever since you made the Bumbo movie.
You're going to shred on the guitar on the Attack of the Clones soundtrack in a couple years, John? Okay. The Yezum was what we're calling what they were calling the Hoth Wampa at the time.
Yeah.
So Yezum, not that good, you guys. really dedicated to the Yuzum concept, though. Really not letting it go.
It's a total Muppet name. Like, if
Yuzum.
they had a Muppet name Yuzum, I'd be for it. Star Wars character name Yuzum.
Yeah, it's like I guess like when you come off of Wookiee, you're like, I could do it again. I could do it again, you guys. You're like, I think you kind of did it. I could do it again. Yuzum, and they're just like, no.
Yeah. Well, it was that or Jism. I didn't know, but Curtis had to let me know. So.
Well, you have the Jizz band in the cantina, so they already used that. So that was already out.
Thinking Jeez Louise, and I didn't understand.
Dengar does not have bandages on his head. That is a mask, actually. The Clone Wars confused some bands by having Dengar have a usable mask. It was
Zanchi wanted Bukkake, but I already knew that because we had scouted for THX 1138.
Kurtz was budgeted toilet paper. He's like, we'll just put toilet paper on his head. Toilet paper will do it. It's free almost. We'll just take it from the Burger King.
What are you doing after those sound people costumes are over? We can just be really economical here,
All right. It was always the snow monsters. The idea was recycled again in Return of the Jedi. The Yuzum were to be Ewok killers. One idea was that Leia killed the Yuzum, and the Ewoks rewarded her by taking her to their cave and making her a member of the tribe. That's in the George Lucas draft.
Like Lucas is trying to find something for her to do in this movie, right? And in the middle of the film, he puts a whole thing where she hunts down a Yuzum. Now, when she could just be leading the space battle, telling everyone what to do.
Okay.
But, he goes through a divorce and he can't handle a woman telling everyone what to do.
Okay.
So he's got to find something else.
Hold on, though. Okay, the idea, we all agree the idea sucks, right? But now imagine she's doing it in the bikini. It's pretty fucking cool all of a sudden, isn't it? Okay. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
that's classic fan edit.
Forrest killing Yuzums, then she whips off the Bausch mask, and it's Leia. Great opening. I'm in. So,
I like the idea that the Ewoks see the bikini and they're like, "You are our queen." Yoda also played Droopy Wait, Yoda? What? I'm missing something. Yoda. He also played Droopy McCool in an Ewok. I must have lost something because I don't think Yoda played Droopy McCool and an Ewok. Maybe it was Deep Roy, and I lost that. That I think was Deep Roy Droopy McCool.
Was it Kenny Baker that played Yoda in Empire when he's walking away? That
was Deep Roy. That was Deep Roy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So then that would have been him. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I fucked that one up. Zuckus's original name was Tuckus, which means asshole in Yiddish.
Yeah, well,
on purpose.
Again, in my defense, all right, I'm from Modesto, and I did go to college, but we didn't study that. So, I had to take some more worldly crew. When we got there, they told us. I was like, well, maybe I could slip that one by the Hollywood's ran by all the Tuckuses. So, maybe but it didn't work out.
Okay. Yeah. Han was put into Carbonite because Harrison Ford was reluctant to do another sequel. Obviously. The first short scene in The Empire Strikes Back where Luke put on his flight suit and talked to 21B was directed and shot by George Lucas to give Kirshner a break during production. So that's a George Lucas scene. During shooting, Bank of America pulled the loan when the film went over budget. Luckily, the Bank of Boston was impressed with some effect sequences they were shown, and they gave them a loan, plus $5 million more than what Bank of America had given Lucas. However,
also,
now
Bank of America is a bunch of fucking dicks, dude. Like, they go back to the Civil War. Like, look it up. You know? Fuck that bank.
Yeah, fuck Bank of America. However, now if the film failed in any way, Lucas was responsible for paying the money back himself. But so Boston coming through. Boston gives us Empire Strikes Back. Good work, Boston.
And they got a real kick out of the Tuckus thing.
So during the fiasco,
see, I made that joke work. I fell off, but I came back. So
you're a real Zuckus. During during the fiasco, they couldn't make payroll. They didn't want anyone to know what was going on, so they changed the terms of payment for employees from every week to every 2 weeks to obscure that fact. Ouch.
Capitalism.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Lucas didn't want Kirshner to know, so he kept him in the dark on the budgetary issues so we could focus on the film. Kirshner went about spending money like nothing was wrong because he had no idea. Gary Kurtz and his boys should have seen the problem coming. This was the right with Lucasfilm and Kurtz. Yeah. Mark Hamill
just blocks more than just just blind, couldn't see it, couldn't do fucking basic math. Bruce Linder's a progressive reporter, and he was reporting that his father apparently worked on the Manhattan Project. So I guess before he passed, they were like, "What do you guys want out of the kids?" And he has the actual slide rule and the abacus his father used to help determine plutonium ratios, and because they didn't have pocket calculator, they had to use an abacus. Like, like that's how they built the nuclear bomb. Just, I don't know, friendly advice. Like, just to think about, like, cut to like 40 years later, or 30 years later, and here you got pocket calculators and computers, and still Kirshner can't figure this shit out. Yeah, whatever. Okay.
Or Kurtz. Kirshner didn't get it.
Sorry.
Mark Hamill was injured several times during production, usually because Kurtz let him do things he shouldn't have been allowed to do. Hamill and Kirshner did not get along. Kirshner tended to imitate what he didn't like that Hamill was doing in his scene, and this infuriated Hamill.
That's the movie I want.
So you're like, yeah, Tashi Station! And he's like, fuck, man, you're going to make fun of me constantly.
It's not even this fucking movie, Kirsch. It's not even this movie. I don't bring up what the fuck did you do before this? I taught. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Carrie Fisher hated Kurtz. So did Hamill. Carrie was sick a lot of times from drugs, but also allergic.
Damn, that hurts.
But also allergic to various chemicals used during the production of Empire. Even after it was identified, it made her sick. Kurtz never took care of it, and she passed out. She finally approached him as he was playing around on set. She started asking him, "So this is producing? Standing around?" Hamill got into it with them because of the injuries. So yeah, they I mean,
so good.
Yeah, dude. Once again, it was the 70s, dude.
I can just imagine that look of hers at the time too, right? With that perfect affect she has, that that Debbie Reynolds like just transatlantic clarity, just right to the core. You know what I mean? Just push it right in the fucking heart. So good.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I don't think I wrote it down, but because I know, but it's like, yeah.
Was Kurtz on his ground talking from his ass like Ace Ventura when she was doing it too? He just bent over. And she's like, "It's producing."
Mark Hamill almost drowned in that Bacta tank. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of shit.
Kurtz is holding him down. Just get one more shot. Yeah. 3 more seconds.
Pretty much.
You wanted to be a director. You need to get the real reaction.
I think like a giant piece of glass fell in there, and had he been inside of it, it would have been literally the piece of glass from up top falls down like from up high and into the tank. And if he had been in there, it probably would have just fucking.
And this is before Lucas left the unions.
Imagine if this shit had leaked out for the sequel films, like how crazy the internet would have been.
Yeah. If this were like Rogue One, you'd never hear the fucking end of it. Like
Stuart Freeborn finished Yoda and dropped it and had to start over. Yeah.
Looks like Martian now. Fix it. Like, what? Lucas, our marriage is not going so well.
Dak, John Fast Morton,
Dick
the guy
move.
who played Luke Snowspeeder, co-pilot on Hoth, filled in for Jeremy Bullock while he was away on another acting job. He played Boba Fett in the scene where Darth Vader tells him he's no good to be dead.
Wait, that's the speeder guy that found Han? We found him. I repeat, that guy?
No, Luke Gunner.
No, Dak.
Luke's gonna. Oh, Dak. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Played Boba in that one scene.
Boba in that scene, yeah. The
We need to remember that for the Making Star Wars no down, you know?
Right. No, I being a nerd isn't a sport, unfortunately. That's the Greedo sequence was actually shot twice. The first guy played Greedo, just tilted his head and it looked terrible. They didn't film Harrison again though. They rebuilt that section of the set and hired a girl named Maria, or a lady named Maria de Aragon, to play the green guy. They built a talking mechanism for the snout, and it failed just before shooting the retake. To make her talking better than the last guy without the talking mechanism working this time, they actually put a clothespin in her mouth, which would move her mouth, and the clothespin would hit the mask, making it appear that Greedo was talking.
Dumbass Kurtz actually shoved it in her mouth, though. Sorry.
There's that famous picture that you'll see around with
put it in
Greedo
the
with high heels.
snoot, you fucking moron. You be the snoot. Like, what?
Well, then we get to Return of the Jedi, and he's like, "I'm gonna slice noodles this baby up. I'm gonna get everything I ever wanted, and I want a talking snout, and I'm gonna get a talking snout." So, anyways, she started moving.
Beefaroni, and that's how we ended up, you know.
Beefaroni.
I always thought he looked like Beefaroni, by the way.
She started moving her arms oddly during the shoot, and Lucas sensed something was wrong, and she was dying from heat exhaustion. Before Han shot, look at what a troll I was right here. Before Han shot second, I always thought there was a little bit of weirdness, and the fact because you really couldn't tell like where Han was shooting from, like under the table or over the table. It was filmed so poorly. Yeah. Anyways, the vines on Dagobah, such as the one Luke uses to swing on, were reused in the temple opening of the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Same Dagobah, Lost Ark Temple, same place.
See, Luke can swing on a vine and not do the Tarzan yell like certain Wookiee.
If he was fucking cool, he would do it though.
Yeah, right.
It's a Tarzan yell in that movie.
Missed opportunity.
Stop telling me it's the best Star Wars film.
It's called Return of the.
Sorry, it's got a Tarzan yell. Can't be.
Return
Like,
of the Jedi.
you're out of the ranking for best when you put a Tarzan yell in your movie. That's it.
Return
Fuck out of here. That shit ended up in The Last Jedi, dude. Goddamn it. You know, like
Yeah, that's
now Tarzan's canon. Fuck out of here.
Look, at that time, you had
it was stupid.
At that time, it was great.
My uncle was so mad.
It's still great.
I didn't care as a kid, but my uncle was livid.
You know what? No, you know what? I'm not going to let this drop. We're rolling it back. Fuck Tarzan. He can't get arrested. Who fucking's watching Tarzan? What's
really mad is David Prowse should have done the fucking thing, right? Because quite frankly, didn't he fucking play Tarzan once?
I don't even know. All I know is that's a Chewbacca growl, and Tarzan does a Chewbacca growl. That's what I know.
Tarzan yell. No,
it's a Chewbacca
yell. All right, Tarzan appropriation guy. All right, come on. More nuggets of knowledge.
I accidentally went to the blah blah blah. Oh yeah, so we had the Greedet pass out. Okay. The vines. Okay, unlike all the other costumes in the film, the Bosk suit was freezing cold. It was made using a high-altitude inner spacesuit. The suit was heated by hot water pipes, as it was built for the extremes of space, and it was stone cold in the suit.
Jesus.
That's from Star Wars Insider.
Everyone's burning up and dying while he's freezing. That's so weird.
It's also in Doctor Who episodes as well. The space beard. I did an article on it. You could So
some guy in the cantina in A New Hope too.
Yeah.
Bojack.
The Bojack suit.
Yeah.
You know, every now and then someone in my feed on Twitter yesterday was going about how like I wish they would go and use real effects instead of the green screens, and it was something about Spider-Man or the Dr. Octopus tentacles were fucking puppets and shit. And I'm like, yeah, for every one of those, there's a guy in a boss suit nearly froze to death on set because she had to have authentic fucking materials. Hey, we ain't talking about that, you know?
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, anybody who wants a guy named Dr. Octopus to be realistic, I just don't have the patience for it. Lucas and Kirshner and Lucas got on
Like,
one.
They didn't use any green screens on Spider-Man 2, by the way. It's all real.
Yeah.
Kirshner and Lucas Look, I just mute those people. Sorry,
Yeah.
I just mute them so I don't have to deal with it. But yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking Spider-Man. Kirshner and Lucas got on one another's nerves, and it was really Gary Kurtz not doing his job. Kurtz wasn't stopping Kirshner from going long. He aided the director in getting what he wanted or needed, and he pushed the film over budget. So yeah, that's why.
I thought Lucas's beef with Kirshner was that he wasn't shooting coverage, and he shot the movie in such a way, because I mean, Lucas is a big, posts, we make the movie in the editing process guy. And he just felt like Kirshner wasn't giving him enough material to work with to edit the movie the way he wanted to. He was shooting in a very specific manner, where Lucas was kind of putting a box into how it was edited, which I get. I mean, everybody can, you can say, well, it turned out great, but I get where Lucas's beef was, like saying, hey, you're not giving me enough material to work with. I've got to edit it this way. I can't, and I want to go this way with it, and you didn't give me the footage I need.
And Kathy was like, I was there, and I wasn't going to worry about ending up with another Empire, so I fired the other two yokels who pulled that fucking shit.
What ended up happening though was that Lucas threw a little fit, and then Lucas edited the movie. No, he edited the movie on his own, and it wasn't any good, and it didn't work. His edit didn't work. They showed his edit, and it didn't come together. It didn't come together. And so, yeah, I had some stuff about it right here.
Okay.
So the rough cut of the Wampas was not working out, and it was a disaster. Lucas got very angry, then sat in the editing room for a week or so and put it together. A cut of the film he was happy with. Kirshner and Kurtz were not happy with it, and then they argued about things that we don't know about today. But it was fucking heated, is what everybody who could hear it.
Your mother, and then he said my mother, and then a lot of mothers.
TM Christopher did a pass after that. Paul Hirsch and Marshall Lucas then did another pass on Empire. So Lucas sat there after watching the other cuts, looked at everyone in the room and said, "You're right." So
props to him for fucking doing that, though, right?
Yeah. No, and it might seem inconsequential, but
I would have done that. I've been like, we're getting my edit. Everyone has big ears and talks too fucking much. 8-hour long, fuck.
And it might seem inconsequential, but the famous story of Lucas's seeing the "I love you, I know" sequence. Well, chances are he only let that go to the screening where it was applauded because of that humbling experience. So that moment is when he was like, okay. And then they do the screening with that moment. And then he's like, okay, yeah, you guys are right. So it was a kind of not a moment of concession, but concessions.
Well, I think people make too much about that whole, Lucas, especially when it comes to prequels. He had just yes men around him. He'd never listened to anybody. And you look at the major decisions that he made in the OT, where like Brian De Palma was the one that said, Luke's coming into the movie in A New Hope too late. You're on page 20 of your script and you don't have your main character. You got to add him in. And Kurt said, you can't have the main battle at the front of Empire. That should be your climax of your movie. It shouldn't be in the first act. You're doing it wrong. And he ignored all that advice. And on paper, that advice is solid,
Yeah.
And that's if you're going by the the very ABC how to make a movie, they were correct. But he was like, "No, I'm going to do my own thing." And so I think Lucas has a good sense of kind of knowing when to follow that advice and when to ignore that advice, because I can't see a lot.
I think at one point he did, but you're talking about people in the 70s, 80s. These were his peers.
Yeah.
Brian De Palma is his peer. Marcia and them been around since day one. By the 90s, these are his employees. Who's going to willingly? It's not that he wouldn't listen to him, but who's going to go in the room and go, "Hey, man, why are you not showing the Clone Wars? This is a dumb idea." Like, no one's going to say that. They're just going to be there trying to help George with what he wanted to accomplish.
That's what happened on the Phantom Menace. Was you had all of these people who were reading it, like Ron Howard and Robert Zemeckis and stuff, but no one's going to go like it's like, you made Star Wars and I made Back to the Future, but Star Wars is better. And who am I to fucking second guess you? Now that's what everybody's attitude was, yeah, this is Star Wars. Carrie Fisher read it and she was like, "That's you, dude. That's what you do." and so yeah, I don't. So it doesn't like the whole like yes men argument isn't really like, it's not genuine, but there is a truth to it. It's just completely misunderstood.
Yeah, John Knowles was arguing with him in the Photo Archives book, even in their own on cutting the opening to Revenge of the Sith. However, he's not arguing with him about what you could do with the movie or whether if you recut the whole movie. He is arguing with what they have, right? So
how to execute.
And then he's listening. So that I think people are assuming the yes man thing is he could have made a better concept, but no one was ever there with him at the concept stage other than the screenwriter, at whoever that happened to be at the time. So, like it's not like, I'm just saying that it's a yes and no. Like, it's not the same. I think Revenge of the Sith would have played better with an opening montage to get a sense of the whole galaxy shit from the beginning. Show the whole galaxy's at war. Kind of makes sense.
That was his original concept for the opening.
And they've spent a lot of time and money animating, whatever the word is. Right? Whatever. They made it.
Yeah. So in the process.
But you had to have a whole thing where R2's like spilling oil out and watching droids slip around for like 3 minutes. It's like, like, really? Like, that's...
Oh, better. No, that shit's great. That shit is fucking... He lights him on fire? That's fucking fantastic. And
he swings and does the Tarzan.
It was a commentary on the Iraq War, bud. I'm kidding.
No, and I think obviously with Simon Kinberg and those folks coming in towards the end of the Lucas era, I think Lucas was kind of aware. There's interesting.
He's going downhill.
Yeah, I remember seeing an interview with Billy Corgan. He was talking about how it's, when you're writing hits and you're at the top of your game, when things start to not go your way, it's, the audience is not smart enough to understand what I'm trying to do. You start blaming everybody else except for yourself. And he said it wasn't until Rick Rubin came along and kind of helped him out that he had to kind of eat some crow and say, yeah, maybe I'm not the shit. Maybe I do need some help. And I think Lucas, like 2010 Lucas, I think was there to say, maybe I'm not the end all be all. Maybe I need some other creative input. And that's why he got, Kinberg and these other guys to kind of step in and help out.
That Billy Corgan explanation is the entire basis for episode 7 Banana Time by the Oral Knots, which is up on YouTube for everyone to watch right now. Banana Time, go watch.
Banana Time.
You will see what I'm talking about. You'll have fun.
I have not watched the Oral Knots yet, so it's on the list.
All right, this one right here is a little bit like, most of you will know it, but maybe somebody doesn't. Lucas scripted the scene in Empire. Leia, I love you. Han, I love you too. Then he's placed in the carbonite.
Deep. So deep.
Right? And then it went, and then they improv it. Leia, I love you. Han, I know. Right? Well, Lucas was pissed. No one had told him anything about a change or asked permission to make that change in the first place. Lucas wanted Han to say, I love you too. Because there was a strong chance he was never coming back. He was never coming back because Ford had not signed on to do another sequel. So Lucas wanted a conclusion to the idea if he should need it. But he also wanted it to link in with the classic romantic films where by the end of the film, the character confesses their love for one another, which we got. Lucas,
we don't know what you're talking about. What is this classical film, George? Only you with the deep knowledge of film history could inform us of this. So she says, I love you, and he says, I love you too?
I think this article. Yeah. his article's a little hyperbolic because to say that George Lucas was pissed is a little misleading because
you weren't there.
I was there. I can tell you exactly what happened.
Oh, you can?
No.
Well, I could tell you, but I can't. No, there was an article where Kirsch was talking about that scene, and he said Lucas looked at him and said, "Did you get my version?" And Kirshner said, "Yeah, I got your version too." And Lucas was like, "Okay." So I can't imagine being.
Can we animate that?
Yeah.
And you narrate with that. We'll just isolate that audio. He's never going to do that.
I think we need to do Star Wars drunk history. I just need to have a couple shots and then.
and then he's like, "Oh, okay."
So reluctantly,
I was pissed that he got an alternate take and he still got his. He probably wasn't. He's probably like, "All right, you got my shot too. Let's see how it plays." And obviously,
yes. So Lucas allowed the Kirshner version in a test screening, and everybody laughed. Lucas said, "See, they're laughing at it." But when the questionnaires came back, that was the moment that everybody said was the coolest moment of the movie. So yeah, and then I thought this was kind of cool.
More cooler than my Yasm.
Wait, what? Roger Christian and his team designed the Proto R2 on the back of a Monty Python call sheet. So when they were designing R2D2, it was on Monty Python call sheets. I thought that was fun. We like Monty Python.
Well, the other side of the call sheet was old Terry Gilliam making fun of the hippies. So,
December 1975. So I want to have Luke kiss the princess in the second book. The second book will be Gone with the Wind in Outer Space. He likes Luke.
I really want those two to just suck face. You know,
but Han is Clark Gable. Han is Clark Gable. Well, she may appear to get Luke because in the end, I want Han to leave. Han splits at the end. Han splits at the end of the second book, and we learn who Darth Vader is. In the third book, I want the story to be about the soap opera of the Skywalker family, which ends with the destruction of the Empire. Then, someday, I want to do a backstory of Kenobi as a young man, a story of the Jedi and how the Emperor eventually takes over and turns the whole thing from a republic into an empire and tricks all the Jedi and kills them. The whole battle where Luke's father gets killed, that would be impossible to do, but great to dream about. So, yeah.
And Dooku was really important at the time, too. I just failed to mention that.
I didn't know you.
And the Techno Union, that was,
it's all about Techno Union.
Very important.
He hadn't even heard techno music yet. you know, Techno Union is all about techno music, right? It's like,
yeah. No.
In Star Wars, they appreciate art so much they pay people for their techno. Dennis Lawson did not voice Wedge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Silent, huh? Right.
Well, I always knew something was up his ass. Turns out it was a hand.
Wedge was voiced by David Enkrum in episode 4.
And didn't they almost bring it back for Rogue One? Because they thought about adding Wedge into Rogue One.
Right.
Gold and red leaders.
Yeah, he was our first Muppet. Yeah,
this
Jim right off to the side there, just bend over, Wedge.
John Wayne voiced Garen Dan. You guys know that one?
Who?
John Wayne.
Who's Garen?
John Wayne is the voice of Garen Dan.
Yeah,
Bert took John Wayne's lines from a movie and garbled it with a synth. He forgot about it. Yeah, he forgot about it until he went back to the master and heard it was Wayne's voice. It didn't come to light until 2007 when Ben said so at a sound conference or something. I don't know. I lost my attribution to that one. Sorry, but it's true.
So he's the little snoodle thing.
Yeah, the spy, Garen Dan. Yeah, that's fucking John Wayne.
Yeah, it's John Wayne. Yeah.
And then John Wayne.
Well, that actual nose is the size of John Wayne's dick.
And then John Wayne.
That's how you what? That's how you know what? No, it's not that long.
John Wayne's grandson is the Mandalorian for most of season 1. Whenever it's not Pedro Pascal, it's John Wayne's grandson. Also, did you guys know that the U.S. government killed John Wayne?
I'll say Garen Dan.
No,
CIA, man. They just will not stop.
They went and filmed a Western out in Nevada where they had done all of the nuclear testing, and then they brought the dirt back with them. And like everybody involved in that production died early and of cancer. Like it's like, yeah, you'll hear, oh, John Wayne died because he smoked. Maybe, but he died. Oh, they all died from the same thing, and they all died from
George Burns. 90-something years old on the Johnny Carson show.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin was a producer on that show as well. So,
and then I got another one, Colin Higgins, who also played Wedge in one scene, did not voice Wedge either. David Ackram also voiced that guy.
I told you, he's a fuck. It's that. You know what it was? He probably had that Scottish accent. And George's like, no one's Scottish in this galaxy. We'll never cast a Scottish actor in this. And then took back.
Remember all that world between worlds stuff with Star Wars Rebels and shit like that? Well, originally the Emperor was going to enter through an interdimensional door. That was the original entrance for the Emperor. Yeah. And then I got more Wedge facts for some reason. Higgins was cast as Wedge, but could not remember his lines and did not learn them because he thought he was going to be similar to a TV shoot. So he was fired. He was fired after his first day on set.
wow.
Dennis Lawson.
Look at the size of that. What line? Fucking thing. No, you can't do that. Just look at that size. That's a whole skit right there. What he
had lines in the Death Star briefing room during the Death Star meeting when all the pilots are sitting in the chairs. That's where his stuff was. He was supposed to have
Listen, you little hillbilly piece of shit. Don't you talk to me? I've been in this outfit for like a whole 6 more months than you.
Well, remember that the pilot says like that's impossible, and then Luke says I used to bullseye womp rats back home. That's most likely the conversation that he didn't know his lines to.
I always thought the person who brought that shit up should have been a character we knew, right?
Here it is. Katie Lucas. My dad was a cameraman at Altamont, the concert where the Hells Angels played security guards and killed a man.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that was her name was KR Girl, like Rebel Girl. And then the 1991 audiobook for Heir to the Empire had Dennis Lawson narrate the book, who made little sense considering.
and only what's the population of Scotland? Only 10 million people.
Hold on, let me tell you. I totally know this. The answer. I know everything about Return of the Jedi, but I don't know shit about it. Are those the Irish people? No, I'm kidding.
Tom, what are you doing, man?
Oh, the Irish people and the Scottish people. Wait, Highlander was a documentary?
I'm wearing green.
Oh, what are they going to do? They're too fucking drunk to ever come and do anything.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
I'm kidding.
I was only making fun of the ad. Look, it's not my fault. Every Scottish video on YouTube, even if a comedian has fucking subtitles built into it, so, it's just ridiculous, but it's true.
Quit wearing kilts and do something about it. No, I'm kidding. Don't. Lucas on the Dianoga. I'm gonna start a whole fight with the Irish people. And this
turns out the Dianoga is Dennis Lawson.
Yeah,
that's what he looks like. He has to his true form, not this human thing. Unzipped, then his sack, his meat sack shell out inside Dennis Lawson's actually a Dianoga.
So Lucas said it's a cross between a jellyfish and an octopus, a transparent muck monster which can take any shape. It presses itself against the floor or in the nooks and crannies of the trash masher, or even in the trash itself to survive. I had that.
In the 70s, Dianogas didn't shave, bro.
Well,
now it's different.
Here it is, dude. Here's your 70s part. I had that same scene in THX, and it failed miserably, so I had to cut it out. So it was a THX concept, and then he used it in Star Wars.
Robert Duvall he shit in the pool. He shit in the pool, and he had just got done eating some kiwi fruit, and so I had some hairs, and I thought that's a monster, and didn't play well.
So I had this one right here I had down, and Star Wars Santa had some contrary evidence to it yesterday. Luke Skywalker's lightsaber is green instead of blue in Return of the Jedi because the lightsaber did not look good visually against the Tatooine blue sky. And
we have the trailer, we can see
it is blue in there, but Star Wars Santa says that if there's a moment where when they are cutting the Luke making the saber in the start of Return of the Jedi in the cave. When they cut that, well, the question becomes, where does he get the saber from? And Lucas is like, well, we could tell people, and then what's his name? Kasdan is like, hey, we could just change the color, and then it'll imply that Luke made it or something. And they're like, yeah, okay. So both stories may actually be true in the end, though, because I don't really
rarely it's one sequence that he's in front of a blue screen, a blue sky, and it's the one that's in the trailer, and it looks just fine.
No, don't downplay the amount of cuts and work in that skiff. That cost as much as doing a huge action. That's like the biggest action sequence they had ever done. At the time, they were selling it as the skiff battle, or the skiff set has more cuts in that one sequence than most films have in their entirety.
I wasn't saying that. What I'm saying though is he's got a giant lightsaber fight that takes place in the dark.
Yeah.
That it's just that he's only, how many times does that saber cross over the blue sky? I wonder. I mean, it's also got white in its core. It's going to be the brightest thing on a screen anyway. So I get it. It looks cool green. I'm not, denying the process.
I think both things can be true. I think that he could have suggested it. Lucas could have looked at it and said, it does kind of like, we are having color issues. If we make it green, it solves it. And wanting to take credit for the idea.
Can sell more toys.
That's the one that we hear. Yeah. But it was also the one in the trailer. So it'll also be the explanation that we got the most, because you can see it's blue in the Revenge of the Jedi trailer. So, you could see, if anybody's curious, the footage of the blue saber at 1:11 of the Revenge of the Jedi teaser. So 1 minute, 11 seconds. Advanced bookings for Empire were 30 million. Advanced bookings for Jedi were 25 million. So a little decrease there.
And those sequels and genre films ruined Hollywood ever since.
If you watch any version of Star Wars, right after the ship crashes into the bridge, killing Piet, but before the Super Star Destroyer crashes into the Death Star, you can then see a celebration on Akbar's ship. I don't know why I wrote that. Oh, here's why. Because if you listen, you can hear a rebel shout, "Die, dickhead!" just before Admiral Akbar slouches in relief. It's real. It's real.
They got to watch. They're like cheering. Why are they cheering? We're going. Oh my God, we're going down.
I'm gonna pull that audio and we'll play it. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow, because you could. It sounds like he goes, "Die, dickhead." It's kind of an urban legend.
That was actually John Wayne.
Yeah. It was the bomb talking to John Wayne, actually. The first drafts of Jedi didn't do much with Han and had Wedge in a bigger role for that reason. Once Ford was signed on, they kind of slipped him into the story doing the Wedge stuff, and Lando and Wedge kind of had their little mini adventure. Max Rebo was originally called Red Ball Jet. And David Lee Roth.
I shaved down there, and I got some red balls. So,
well, David Lee Roth used to be in a band called Red Ball Jet.
Really? It's a David Lee Roth, or
yeah,
that is such a weird name for a band to not have a connection.
Yeah, right. It's very specific. And then General Maiden. This is the last one. General Maiden's action figure was made first, so the actor had to conform to the look of the toy. And then that's everything that I
complete with sculpted hair.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So he's made to look like a toy. So yeah, but those are all my George Lucas era Star Wars fun facts. I have vomited them all out into your faces. So yeah. You want to show some stuff, Rob? We were almost supposed to go an hour today, and I see we're actually already at an hour and a half. I didn't realize.
Oh shit.
Yeah, well, I can go over it. If James wants to hang around, it'd be fun to get his input on it. But if not, we can do it later.
Okay.
All right. Nice blank screen. All right, so I got some goodies for you. So one, I took some photos from my Struzan, the Art of Drew Struzan book, concerning the posters for the prequels. I do have the Au Revoir book. So there's two books. The Art of Drew Struzan's a thin black one.
Right.
It's all in his words, which I recommend. If you want a collection of actual like work from Struzan, you got to get the Au revoir book, which is
Au revoir, Pee-wee. Au revoir.
thick white one, but it's a piece of shit. See, it cracks right down the spine if you open it more than 3 times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it really is cheaply fucking constructed. It's horrible.
I want to
But
fight the French
it has a fun triptych of the special edition posters right in here and the Back to the Future posters. So that's kind of cool if you can see it. But yeah, it's a big bummer. However, the only stuff of Star Wars that's covered in this book is Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith posters. However, not going to say how, but over the years I've been able to get a few actual high-res scans of Drew Struzan's work. So this is actual high-res Phantom Menace poster. If you want to see the actual this is right from his actual art.
He's a really good artist. Do you think he would want to draw my bowling team shirts if I asked him?
I can't tell you how I got this. That's why James has to be here, because he'll understand what I'm talking about. Right? But you can see, like, if we zoom in, like, this is.
You should watermark it.
Look at him! Look at him! Nobody knows, but I just peed a little bit in my pants, and you could kind of see it.
Right. But you can see like all the cool, like, so when if you wonder like how tight are these drawings, actually because they're meant to be seen quite the ways away, they're pretty still fairly loose, in terms of the blending and stuff, This is why it drives me nuts when like modern art directors tell me it needs to be more smooth. I'm like, it really doesn't, like, because boom,
yeah,
it works.
Yeah, it ends up having like sort of I don't know, you kind of sense like a texture to it when you pull out, because of that.
This modeling effect, by the way, is just water that's put down over the acrylic paint after it dries. And he puts paper towels and lifts it. That's how you get that effect.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just water put right over it. And it'll come off slightly, depending on how long you let it sit there. But
Star Wars, a game. We refer to Jason as Striker now, FYI.
Yeah. So you all know. And, lens flares, not J.J. Abrams. Just lens flares, not J.J.
Lens flares.
All right. So there's that one. And then this is the high-res Attack of the Clones, which we'll look at. Let's move that after we get through all this. So,
okay.
So this is his walkthrough on Attack of the Clones. Do you want me to read this or just kind of give you this shorthand?
Whatever you think is best.
Well, right here, he talks about episode 1. Subsequently, George and I met in person many, many times, and throughout my entire history with George, he always gave me a free hand to do what I wanted because that generally turned out to be what he wanted to. On episode 1, it was just me and George talking ideas. Come episode 2, George's company was so big that it became hard to get to him anymore, and ideas were conveyed to me by a third party. They said they really liked the concept of the poster for David Lean's Dr. Zhivago, and they had done a photo session with Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman mimicking that pose. All I could really contribute was to put their two heads together with different stuff around them. So now the middleman was telling me what to do. Turn Boba Fett around, make him flying, make him standing. We want to decide how we like him. He was forcing concepts on me, possibly unbeknownst to George, and I couldn't step on the guy's feet because he was just doing his job. So this is Struzan. This whole book slowly goes through Struzan having to come from working with directors or an art person, a middleman, to having to work with the whole studio. So these are his.
I like Anakin looking at me like I'm gonna get this bitch pregnant, right? Look at him.
It works better if you look at this one first and then this one.
Yeah, he's like, in case anybody's wondering, he's rage and I poked holes in the condoms.
Yeah. I do like this the flare behind the planet.
I like the Dooku lightning, dude. That's fucking metal.
Yeah. I think they were trying to keep that on the down low prior to the release.
Yeah. Yeah, they did kind of play a little bit with the is he or isn't he a Sith Lord thing, didn't they?
Yeah.
So that's probably why.
Yeah. Well, did they say that he had to go through a third party or a middleman at Lucasfilm?
Yeah, he was.
No, this is directly with Lucasfilm now. His middleman was in the 80s when he had an art guy he had to go through, and he cut that person out around the mid 80s, which the book he goes into it in the book. So this book is great because it's all Struzan just talking about I mean, like throwing people under the bus almost. So it's awesome. Like his Hellboy 2 is like one sentence long.
Shit sandwich.
So he says, where is this? Let me finish where it says. So he says, for the earlier Star Wars posters, I no longer have the comps, but for this last bunch, I do. They use the finished poster the way I painted it. It was reported in the news that my poster for episode 1 was the most seen artwork in history. George considered the poster art I did to be sacred. You never saw it anywhere else but on the poster, and he wouldn't let it be used any other way. The identity of the movie was that poster and nothing else. The last 3 movies were all that way, all over the world, foreign and domestic. My work was used unchanged. So it was seen by billions of people absolutely everywhere. George and I are both quiet and introverted, but when we got to know each other pretty well one-on-one, when I retired, not a single studio said anything. One of the reasons being that the people I work with were all long gone. No cards, no notes, no calls, no thank yous, nothing, except for Lucasfilm. We met in a private office, and they gave me a statue of Darth Vader kneeling down and said, "This Darth Vader is paying homage to you." Now that was a much better than a gold watch.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking. That's pretty fucking rad.
And you know that's Lucas. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like when is Hollywood going to accept the reverence for this man and then make what he does the standard? Like that's what's so fucking weird. I get it's easy and cheap to get Photoshop shit, but man, like when it's a movie, when it's like the Spider-Man movie that came out this week, that a movie of that cultural magnitude deserves something on par with a Struzen, something with that amount of care to detail and of that level of quality. It's so strange.
James,
I miss him.
Something?
I miss him.
What's that?
Did you have something to say? I thought you were going to say something.
No.
James hates him. James says
never anything to say.
He's no love for Corey,
I like what's Django doing here? I guess he's looking up.
That's probably where they were like make him fly, and he's like, I guess.
It's like it's coming out of his butt.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very Captain Power. Which, by the way, he did the Captain Power piece. So. And then we could see some other comps. Right? A little more angled.
Yeah, I like the ones where Anakin is looking at us better. I think it gives it. Yeah, it has more of like what the guy's supposed to be. It's like the other way is more. Oh, he's a heartthrob. The other way is more like you're gonna get pregnant.
You gonna get pregnant.
Yeah.
And then
I will say
the one in the book.
If I had one like critical thing about the poster in terms of what it contains is I think it should have like on the bottom here, you see the Clone Wars down there with all that stuff. Should have been more of that coming at you on one hand. That's more of it's called Attack of the Clones, and it has barely a clone on it. That's the only thing I would probably be critical
big
of.
Clone, the major clone. I know. Hey, look. He's like, I'm gonna cut this fucker's head off. Watch, dude.
Okay, so right now,
this is the actual. Oh, go ahead.
Obi-Wan Kenobi series cast Star Wars fans as extras, exclusive. Welcome to this week's Just for Variety. Star Wars really is about the fans, so much so that some of the most diehard will be seen in Disney Plus series Obi-Wan Kenobi starring Ewan McGregor. So says Maya Erskine, the Pen 15 penis co-creator and co-star who appears in the Star Wars spinoff. The extras were incredible on set, and a lot of them were mega Star Wars fans, she tells Variety. One guy, whoa, it just jumped around. One guy was so nice, he lifted up his sleeves and had Star Wars tattoos over his whole body. And they build droids, blah, 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 blah. Erskine shot what she calls her speck of a role shortly after giving birth to Leon Frederick, her son with her fiance. This is us, actor Michael Angarano. I got to bring my baby to set, she says. I wanted to wrap him in a shawl and have him pass as an extra in Star Wars. Erskine jokes that she's getting an Obi-Wan tattoo. Baby. It's on my ass, she says. That's what she said. She's cool. Of course, she has to be tight-lipped about her part on the show, but says Deborah Chow is an amazing director. The cast was incredible. It was fun to do. She adds, my brother, who's a mega fan, was like, if you don't take this, I'll disown you. You have to be part of this universe. And speaking on the podcast last week's episode featuring Lady Gaga, but I can report that she helped us, blah, 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 blah. I guess that's it. That's
breaking news.
That's an Obi-Wan exclusive from Variety.
And the real exclusive is she turned it down and he did disown her. Fuck, he meant it.
Yeah, so
Star Wars doesn't bring people together.
Yeah, but go on. I'm sorry. I thought it might be something.
So this is the actual Shazam poster with no photo. I mean, this is straight off it.
Yeah.
Now, how far before the movie's release does he finish this? Do you think?
I don't know the actual.
Because I'm wondering about.
But I gotta imagine within 3 months.
I mean, that 3PO changed in production. I'm wondering if it was like, shit.
All right.
Change a character on me. Now I gotta redo the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah. They give him that. They give you the stack of photos. And he sort of picks through the photos and then comps them around.
Yeah.
And look, anyone ever complains about my hands, I just want to say, no one's gonna be looking at the hand. Just put it out there.
Well, apparently we are.
It's now. Is this what you pulled up to out in Burbank, and you were like, I know that luscious lashes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even behind a mask, I know these luscious lashes from anywhere. So good.
It's really annoying. The other day, you know how he did the episode 7 poster? I saved it, and I had his original comp for it. It was so much better than what they put out.
Yeah,
I thought I had it, but I just put out
Mondo thing.
Yeah. But it didn't have Harrison Ford on it. It was just like the new characters at first. And
now we get to the fun. Now we get to the fun one.
Yeah,
right?
this is the worst one.
This back over here.
It's my favorite movie, and it's the worst one.
So we should read this. It's not that long. So if people don't know, to give you the short shrift on this, or short details. They photoshopped a giant Struzan Vader head without his involvement into the final poster. You can tell when you look at it, and so this is how it happened.
God, that top right.
Cool. Yeah, it's very cool. On my approved comp, Vader was in the background with the main characters up front in red hot colors. The art director at Lucasfilm wanted Darth bigger, like lots bigger. But where in the world would they put a bigger Darth? Their idea was to shove the characters forward toward the bottom in order to make Darth larger, which destroyed the composition. The lightsaber fight and the circular grouping is the focus, the bullseye, and they missed the target. Told you, Struzan don't give a fuck. I painted a solo piece of an overwhelmingly huge Darth Vader head in the same style as the original. They married the two images digitally, and that ticked me off. Now the composition was lopsided. It was all my work, but it had been cut and pasted and shuffled around without my supervision or approval. That pains me as an artist because I know both classical and modern composition. The paintings are composed to elicit certain responses and emotions. They're not just slapped together from interchangeable parts. If you try to pull apart a truly tight design, it caves in. Here, what was once had balance and rhythm was processed into a mess. It's not George's fault. He still loves the work, but we never got a chance to go one-on-one on episode 3. He has all 6 Star Wars paintings hung in a row on the wall leading to his screening room, but he doesn't have the altered, crappy version of episode 3. He has the real thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, this person was most likely the same person that was changing every depiction of Darth Vader to Darth Vader with flames behind him on everything. Remember, everything looked like it was a fucking biker tattoo version of Darth Vader. Yeah, it was just awful.
Yeah, shit.
So you can see his different comps.
Yeah,
that's fucking dope. I like this one. The half Vader, half. Yeah.
God, I would take any of these so far over the actual finish.
Well, this both looks like their dicks are going off. I don't.
That's cool though.
I like look at the little Yoda saber.
Yeah, look at it. It's tiny.
Cool. This is a good composition, though, even though like they're higher up. So
Look at that weird ass
the-
finger though that he put there. Why do he put that big ass weird finger there?
right here. Oh, right there.
Yeah. Look at that weird ass. What is that?
Well, that's to show that he needs to eat more vitamin C.
Is that fucking ET's finger? What is that? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. These look more Archie Goodwin.
Yeah.
Kind of feel to him, right?
This is the giant Vader helmet by itself that he did separately, so that they could. And that's the way they photo. Look at the Photoshop. Like this is no.
Horrible.
It's just this is they're red for it. Just that's the theatrical. Like you can just tell when you look at it, like someone just masked this out in Photoshop.
Yeah.
Horrible.
So weird.
And I have to say, his finished Sidious, not good. Gotta say though, not good.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like him.
And so this is the one that's actually hanging in George's office.
Hayden looks great though. I mean, that is a really good. The vampire Lestat hair and everything looks really great.
I know it's odd, but that's what he had to work with.
Yeah.
I think these are some of the other comp ideas. Yeah, for this movie, all the comps are better than the one that they wanted him to do. You know, like even this right here, like 'cause the size of it. You know,
Right.
I wonder what. Oh, they wanted what? Yeah, like he's not big enough. Like I don't like this composition. Like it needed this, right?
Yeah.
And they knew that because they went with this, and they knew it looked better where he becomes part of the poster, right? The negative space. So that's when they're like, we'll just Photoshop it instead of making him do it. Like, that's what happened. Because this little bit of red out here, it's odd, and he looks because the Vader helmet's not symmetrical, right? So it looks loppy. That's why it needs to come.
Do you want to know what my 2004 prediction of the poster was what I thought it was going to be? I thought it was going to be Darth Vader, and the shadow was the little boy. Oh damn!
Hey, look, literally anyone can do these jobs better than the people that get hired from artists. So, yeah, I think this one overall is fucking super dope. And then this is the final Photoshop piece. They don't. I couldn't get access to the.
Yeah.
So if you want to see what that Photoshop job looks like up close, like it's just so odd the way they cut it out. So,
yeah, it's
like you can see. Look at it doesn't. Some people can't tell, but it's like, where's this purple lighting coming from?
So I'm trying to be too clever here.
And tonally, like if you pull this into value, I should have done a value check on this, drag into Photoshop and do a black and white. But value wise, Vader's, I can just tell you, value, he's like at like a 70% light gray, and they're at like a 30% gray, which means value wise, they're way brighter than he. Like to match this comp, he'd have to have underneath here have these specks, these from this reflecting into these reflections and stuff.
Well, is it? Should I say it? Should I? Do you think it's cool if I say it, or don't say it?
Say
what?
All of the featured images that we have for the show, they're all done by Drew Struzan. They're all original Struzans, in case anybody's wondering. Yeah. All of the feature images on this show. Yeah,
and they're NF feeds.
Yeah,
from StruzanNFFeeds.com.
Yeah, if you just PayPal me like $60 or give some money to Max's cats, you could just screenshot it and make it your own NFT. I don't care. It's cool.
We'll swear you own it.
Yeah, you totally own it. It's your screenshot.
Definitely. You think he's working a little bit of the Thing poster in here? Because he did the Thing poster, right? It's a little bit of the Thing.
Yeah, I remember when that first thing happened, people used to say, is it Darth Vader's image coming in there? Remember like when they did that really dumb cape? That cape one? I hate that one.
I don't like McDermott's makeup in this movie.
No, it's not that bad. That is actually
that great either.
Knocking the ball right there. That doesn't look like him. That doesn't look like him.
This looks more like Dan Aykroyd in Nothing But Trouble.
Nothing But Trouble. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is.
I was trying to
hula.
All around the world. All around the world.
Perfect. Yeah. No, they said they struggled with the makeup on Revenge of the Sith, and it shows.
Yeah. Yeah, and his face he had gained. He was older. His face was different. It was.
But look, when you put these three together, like compositionally, there's just. I feel like they should have let him attempt to do some form of triptych or design with all. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. But you can see continuity, I guess, from the lens flares. But like this,
maybe Kathleen Kennedy should stop firing people and hire Struzan to fix it.
But it was funny. My friend said, "I will never want lens flares in Star Wars." I'm like, "You're late."
Yeah.
Not only will you like it, you're going to demand they make more eventually. You know? So.
God, yeah. I mean, honestly, other than sort of the throwback nature of the Last Jedi's poster, they really haven't made a really good Star Wars poster. And during the whole Disney era, for the most part, they've all been pretty much trash.
Yeah, I think Rogue One's poster has been the least interesting, just because it has a weird blandness to it. There's no real color grading anywhere. It's like kind of like a flat. There's a flatness to it.
The teaser poster for Rogue One is better. The Death Star one is better than the actual one. Yeah. The modern era of movie posters, it sucks, and this is the proof. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. But so anyways, I think we did a pretty.
You guys get a kick out of. That you guys did a little Christmas kick out of seeing the high res. Don't ask me how I got it. I won't tell you.
No, they are beautiful.
All I can say is Macquarie is generous if you bribe him with con food.
Yeah, and we didn't we don't have time because I have my kids home today, so I have to go now. But we didn't get to the Ralph McQuarrie stories. We're really stretching that out. But when
Lindsey Buckingham on What's Up With That on SNL.
What up with that?
I'm sorry, Lindsey Buckingham. We didn't have time.
But dude, whenever you want to come on, just tell me I'm on today, and I'll send you the invite. You're always welcome.
My my signed Macquarie poster.
Wait, hold on. Let me.
Yeah, that's actually
look at all the
one of the many pieces I got from him when I got. I think I went too big on the mat on that one.
James is giving that away if you just give Max $1. No, I'm kidding. No. So,
every dollar matters, right, James?
Thank you for donating the ability to photo. And tomorrow we will put that at the top of the show. And
however you want to figure out the highest bidder on this, and just let me know, and I will certainly send that off to them as soon as you want to close out the bidding, and just let me know. Yeah, anything awesome. I can do to help Max.
And thank you so much.
Signed it Apollo Creed though, Dick.
No. Anyways, we will be back tomorrow. I'll be back on today if any huge news breaks, any fake 4chan things come out or something like that. Well, come back on and talk about it probably.
Breaking news, fans in the background somewhere.
Yeah, I was like, what was that? Unless I missed a paragraph where they're like, oh yeah, there's something interesting I missed, but that didn't make any sense. I'm glad we just threw it in the middle of a conversation about fun facts, because that's literally what it amounted to. Wasn't an exclusive fun fact from Variety or whoever it was. But yeah. And how do we help Max? Let me show you how.
You should also put that info into the show notes, the show info box, right? Can't you?
In the info box?
Or will it yeah, the description.
I'll send you a shot of my Billy D thing here, so you can post that up if you want.
Here. Right here is how you can help Max. Oh, then we got to put it up on the screen. It's doing that thing where it tricks me. And right here is how you can help Max. Is you can Cash App, you can Zelle, you can PayPal, and you can Venmo. And that's how we help our friend Max get her cats taken care of, get them tested and vaccinated. And whoever donates the most gets a signed Billy D photo thanks to our buddy here. And that is super nice of you, dude. I can't think. I know Max is going to be very touched by that. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no, Max and I've been texting back and forth, and I've been getting daily updates. And I know she not quite there, so hopefully this will help push her over the top.
We can do it. We can do it.
Currently at 420 out of the 730, so we got about another 300 to go.
Yeah, we gotta do it.
So cool.
Gotta make it happen. And yeah, and you know, if you're a totally crappy person, just imagine you're buying a signed Billy D photo. And there you go. I mean, that's worse.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, we'll be back tomorrow about 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, talking about Star Wars. We'll cook up something for tomorrow if nothing breaks. And and so thanks to everyone for hanging out with us, and help Max out, and then we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks guys for joining me today, whatever.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.
Bye guys. I'm gonna go take the kids out to lunch and have a